Let's talk about one of the emotional reasons why some fathers lose contact with their biological children after the divorce and separation, which is the psychological impact of divorce. So, I think it's important to understand that for many men, divorce feels like a failure. Many men are brought up to believe that as a man, your job is to be the provider, it's to be the leader, is to be the bedrock of your family. Your job is to be able to protect your family and be able to guide your children. And when many men are not able to become successful in that role, what ends up happening is that they feel like they've failed. So it isn't just the relationship that they failed in as a husband, but also their role as a provider and a protector, or the phrase that many men use is the man of the house. So when the marriage ends, what ends up happening emotionally is that they go to shame and they experience what is called an identity collapse. An identity collapse is where a man is going through a situation where he's like, who am I? Who am I without my kids? Who am I without my wife? And it sounds ridiculous because it's like, well, just go and start again. Why can't you just co-parent? But a lot of men, remember that most people only experience one divorce in their lifetime. So divorce isn't something that most men are prepared for. They're not coached in, they're not told about. And when men get divorced, a lot of the time, remember, they lose a lot of their support system because a lot of the time, men's friendships and emotional support systems are usually their wife or their spouse, and it's usually their mother-in-law or their children. So a lot of men just don't know how to deal with it emotionally. They don't know how to deal with shame. And remember that when people experience shame, the opposite or the antidote to shame is the truth. The problem is, in order to talk about feeling shameful or feeling like a failure, you have to talk about your feelings, right? The antidote to shame is the truth. The truth is, you've got to talk about how you feel and how the marriage has impacted you. The problem is society brings boys and men up to not talk about their feelings in Britain, to be stoic and stuff like that. So for a lot of men, seeing their children becomes a very painful reminder of that loss. So a lot of them withdraw, not because they don't care, but because they can't bear the emotional pain, the shame, the feelings of failure that come up whenever they see their children. So what ends up happening is that every time they see their children, they see a version of them that failed to be able to show up for their mum and to be able to show up for them. So the emotional impact and the psychological impact of that divorce is massive for a lot of men, and they just have no idea how to deal with it, and they don't attend therapy, which makes it worse.